Hey everyone, I'm Brad Wood and I'm a solutions consultant here at Sketch Development. And in this video, we'll look at 3 different ways that automation can help keep your parent and child work items in sync in Jira. We'll discuss some use cases and we'll look at which teams benefit most from each approach. At Sketch Development, we're an Atlassian solutions partner, and we work with teams on consulting, licensing, and training across the entire Atlassian toolset. We've seen teams struggle with keeping parent and child work items in sync, whether that's estimates, timelines, or key context. This usually leads to manual updates, inconsistent data, and a lot of time spent double checking values across work items. Automation can help solve these problems for us. So with that, let's jump into our first demo. All right, so here we're looking at an epic in Jira, and we can see that it's got a due date of April 10th. But let's say that due date needs to change and get pushed out into the future. We also see there's 2 stories underneath this with due dates of April 8th and 9th. When we update the due date on our epic, instead of manually updating the due date on all our children, we can use automation to do this for us, keeping those due dates aligned based on the new due date of the epic. So I'm just going to go over here to the due date field, and we'll change this by, let's say, a week. So we'll push it to April 17th, and we will let automation run in the background, and we will give this a quick refresh. And now we can see that the due dates on our 2 stories have also increased by 1 week, so April 15th and 16th respectively. And we are able to accomplish this using smart values and automation. This is going to help keep our schedules and roadmaps aligned as timelines shift and even as priorities change. We keep the relative due dates intact for the children and only have to make an update on the epic to shift our entire delivery timeline. And this could even work in the opposite way also. So if an epic's due date gets moved sooner, its children can be adjusted appropriately as well. So let's talk about some use cases for this particular automation. First one's going to be dependency synchronization. So utilize this type of rule to sync dates of linked work items. Release timeline shifts, and in this scenario, we can make sure that our child items shift appropriately with their parent. And then avoiding schedule drifts, so prevent our children from becoming misaligned with parent commitments. And then who's going to benefit from this? So our delivery managers, who will be able to quickly adjust timelines across all related work items, our Scrum masters, being able to reduce manual backlog maintenance and timeline adjustment, and then our teams, just to keep all of their work items in sync. For our next demo, let's go back to our same epic. And what if we want to see a total sum of the story points of the children on the epic? Well, we can calculate that using automation, giving us real-time, accurate sizing without manual effort. And so on this epic over here in the story points field, we can see it's got a total of 5, and we've used automation to calculate that based on the story points of the children. So 2 plus 3 equals 5. But what if we need to resize one of these stories? Maybe we decide that it's a bigger job than we thought. Let's go over to one of our stories. And we'll just navigate over here to the story points field. And instead of 2, let's say this one is actually going to be 3 story points. We'll save that. Automation is going to run in the background. And we'll give our epic just a quick refresh. And now we can see the story points have been updated on the story. So 3 plus 3 equals 6. And that's what we are seeing here in the story points field on the epic. And notice here we are using the out-of-the-box story points field, but you don't have to do that. You could use a custom field, maybe something called story point rollup or something similar, which would allow you to compare the initial sizing of an epic against the story points from its children as the epic moves through its life cycle. So let's talk about some use cases for this automation. First is going to be roadmap reporting. Let's say leadership wants epics to be sized without doing this manually. We can do this via our automation. Planning alignment, effort is going to be estimated at the story level, which then rolls up to the epic level. And then, like I mentioned, scope tracking. So help us monitor our epics for scope creep beyond original estimates and expectations. And who's going to benefit from this automation? So product managers, helping them ensure accurate epic sizing without manual effort. Our engineering teams, giving them visibility into scope changes. And then leadership, providing reliable roll-ups for planning and reporting. All right, for our last demo, let's say we have a parent work item that's still showing in progress, even though all of its children have been marked done. We can avoid a situation like this by utilizing automation. So we've got an example story here. It's got 2 subtasks underneath it. One of them's done, the other one is not. Let's mark this one as done. And now we can see 100% of the subtasks are done on this story, and automation is going to run in the background. And now you can see that this story has been marked done. So a pretty simple scenario. This may not be applicable to all situations. However, you may have parent work items that need additional review before they can be marked done. But there are some use cases in which this could be beneficial. The first one being simple delivery workflows in which no post-work steps or validation is needed. Ticket-driven work, so situations where parents represent a group of work and completion is purely based on children being completed. And then board and reporting accuracy, so ensuring your work doesn't linger in progress. This is going to help improve your sprint reviews, your dashboards, and reporting. And again, who's going to benefit from something like this? Well, our Scrum Masters, it's going to give them cleaner boards and require less manual cleanup of the board. Our product managers, giving them more accurate progress tracking, and delivery teams, really just clearing up ambiguity around work progress and status. Those are just a few examples of automations between parent and child work items in Jira, but the possibilities here are endless and can be customized to your team's unique needs. At Sketch, we design and configure solutions like this for our clients all the time to help reduce manual effort, improve data consistency, and make Jira work the way your teams actually operate. If you'd like to know more about this solution or anything else Atlassian related, please feel free to reach out to me via email or LinkedIn. Both of those will be included in the description below. Thanks again for watching and have a great day.